Today, to my absolute surprise, they finally released a trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie for Netflix, which I'm really, really excited for. It's probably one of my most anticipated movies of this year, alongside movies like Bring Her Back with Raka Raka, which I watched the other night, which I thought was amazing, as well as Avatar Fire and Ash, which I'm really excited for, comes out later this year. There's a couple big movies that I'm really excited for this year, but I think one that might fly under a lot of people's radars that aren't necessarily fans of the book is the Frankenstein movie by Guillermo del Toro. And I guess if you're a del Toro fan, like, you'll be looking forward to it as well, but if you're a Frankenstein fan, you'll absolutely be looking forward to it. Anyway, obviously it's based on a book that came out a very long time ago, almost over 200 years ago at this point. So let's actually bring that up. It is obviously written by Mary Shelley, came out in 1818. That is when it was originally published. And it's a gothic fiction, science fiction, horror fiction, young adult literature, crime fiction genre novel. That's just a list of a bunch of different genres that it kind of falls under. And it's an incredible book. It is written so beautifully. There are so many awesome passages and excerpts and quotes that kind of come out of the book that really hit you super hard. And it's an awesome story that I think sticks with you and has obviously stuck with a lot of people over 200 years for it to still be relevant today and still be something that is mentioned. And you will have like fucking cameo appearances from the monster. I was about to call him Frankenstein. You won't even have cameo appearances from Dr. Victor Frankenstein. It'll be from the monster or the demon or whatever they call him. It is, I don't think they kind of call him monster in the book. It's more so demon. Anyway, this novel and this story has been so popular for so long. I think it's so well written and such an awesome story. It hasn't quite been told in the best way possible in movies up until hopefully this point with Del Toro's adaptation of it. I really hope he does a true to the novel sort of telling of the story, and it quite frankly looks like he has achieved that so far from what we've seen in the trailer, which we will get to in just a second. I wanted to bring up the cast as well just before we kind of get into the trailer. Obviously, we have Oscar Isaac as Dr. Victor Frankenstein, which I think is an awesome casting decision because I think he's a great actor. If you have seen him in anything like Ex Machina, obviously Star Wars, or even Moon Knight, both those roles kind of give him this really kind of hard edge, but also a very, well, more so with Moon Knight, kind of this quirky side as well, which I think will fit really well for his character in this adaptation. Then you also have, it's kind of funny they've written Mary Shelley as a writer on this because, well, she didn't obviously write the screenplay for the movie. She only wrote the book, but good to credit her anyway. The cast. So, Oscar Isaac, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, Mia Goth as Elizabeth. I really love that casting as well. I think Mia Goth is great. And Jacob Elordi as the monster. I'm really keen to see what kind of design they do for the monster in this adaptation, because I think in terms of actors that are really well known for, you know, transforming into these really scary monsters or presence on screen. Oh, which dude is it again? I can't remember. It's one of the Skarsgårds. It's, what was his most recent movie? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's Nosferatu. So probably someone that is extremely well known for just getting all dolled up in crazy prosthetics. I will have to scroll up a little bit. Is Bill Skarsgård. He was obviously Nosferatu in this movie. He was also Pennywise the clown in It, and obviously very well known for doing really incredible performances under such stress and strain of being under so many different layers of makeup and prosthetics. So that is someone that would be a very clear choice to play the monster in this adaptation, but they've obviously gone with Jacob Elordi. So I'm really hoping that he can kind of produce a awesome portrayal of this character, because it's a very tough character to kind of portray. one of the reasons that I really love this book and this story is because I actually studied it in high school. It was one of my books that we studied in literature, and we did a comparative piece between Frankenstein and also Edward Scissorhands. This is my current copy, I guess, of Frankenstein. It's a really nice, I don't think it's leather, it's kind of a leather bound edition of the book. It has a really nice cover and all this sort of thing, and a nice back with a really awesome quote, which just says, "You are my creator, but I am your master. Obey." So there's a really crazy dynamic between the monster and Dr. Victor Frankenstein. The way the story kind of goes is Dr. Victor Frankenstein is extremely obsessed with reanimating death and bringing death back to life and all this sort of thing, and it's kind of his life mission to create something like the monster. But as soon as he does it, he's in complete shock of what he's done, and he discards the monster. But the monster's just like a baby that's just been born, you know what I mean? So the monster is like, well, what the hell? You're abandoning me, but you created me. What's going on? And so the monster is kind of left on his own and on his lonesome, and he tries to fit into the world, but he doesn't, because obviously he's a monster. So you can kind of see where comparisons between Frankenstein and the story of that and Edward Scissorhands kind of intertwine, with Edward Scissorhands obviously being this really freaky looking dude with obviously scissor hands, and he tries to fit into the real world with people that are more normal looking, and he has a really hard time doing that. So I really love that kind of story and that kind of character, and I really hope that Del Toro does a really good job of kind of portraying that in the adaptation. And I really hope Jacob Elordi I'm sure he gets the gist of it, obviously. Like, you don't sign up to a role that you don't fully understand. So I'm really excited to see what he does with it. But obviously I'm very cautious going into it. I do like Jacob Elordi. I liked him in, what was it, Euphoria, and I also liked him in, what was that weird movie where he fucks a grave? Was it him that fucks a grave, or was it someone else? I think it might have been someone else. I can't remember. What was that movie? Oh, geez, I can't remember. It's all right. It was set in like the early 2000s, and they had some G-Shocks and early 2000s music in there, and they were all reading like Harry Potter and stuff. I really liked it. But anyway, really excited for his portrayal. It also has Christoph Waltz in it, which is cool. I like Christoph Waltz quite a bit. He's an awesome actor. I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name. It's Rafe something or Ralph something. The cast looks really, really good. So I'm really excited about the cast. Obviously, well, not so much obviously, but I'm a massive fan of the director, massive Del Toro fan. I love what he did with Hellboy, and I love what he did with Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is honestly one of my favorite movies of all time. So I am super stoked. Anyway, we shall look at some of the stills, because we're not going to look at the entire, the entire trailer. We're just going to look at some stills from it. I'm not going to play the whole thing or whatever it is. I'm just going to kind of skip around. Right at the offset, we have the boat stuck in the Arctic with, I can't remember the character's name, but it's some dude. I believe, I haven't read the book in a while, but from memory, what happens is the person that's captaining the ship finds Dr. Victor Frankenstein and welcomes him on board because he's on the brink of death or whatever. And they obviously try to aid him back to health and everything like that. And Dr. Victor Frankenstein and this captain kind of get to talking, and he figures out what the captain is doing and what his mission is and all this sort of thing. And I'm not going to get so much into spoilers, but like, it just really excites me that we're going to get this sort of, because this is after Dr. Victor Frankenstein has made the monster. So he's made the monster, he's on the run from it, and he has found this really young explorer on this ship, on this expedition, and he sees a lot of similarities in him. So he sees this captain's like obsessive side and everything like that. And they kind of get to talking, and then Victor Frankenstein talks about a time in his life when he was super obsessed with something that he wanted to pursue, and how obsession and the pursuit of one's, life goal or whatever it is might be a detriment to them at the same time. So it's such a cool story. It's such a cool way to it's such a cool way to open up the story and kind of have this comparison between this ship captain and Dr. Victor Frankenstein. Anyway, I'm really excited that we're getting this kind of book ending. I think that's what you call it, a book ending or whatever it is. This is where the story starts, but then we kind of go back and see what Victor Frankenstein does and what the monster does and everything like that. And then we kind of come back here at the end. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really, I'm really happy that, they're doing it true to the book and everything like that. So that is something that gets me really, really excited. Man, like some of these shots just look phenomenal. Super gothic, really creepy and dark. And I just love the aesthetic of what this looks like and obviously what the Antarctic exhibition kind of looked like as well. Let's kind of skip around here a little bit more. This is one of the shots that was a marketing image that was kind of shared around when the movie was, ramping up its marketing and everything like that. It's coming out this year, so they released a few photos and this was one of them. I really love the set design, obviously, as I've said, but I also really love the costume design, and obviously it's of the time. This shot is awesome. This is badass, man. So I assume this is the monster and he's in pursuit of Frankenstein. Man, I'm so excited. Yeah, this is him on the ship. This would be like the start and the end of the story pretty much, and he's like on the brink of death and everything like that. And obviously the monster's coming out after him. Man, look at this. This is another one of the shots that they released very early on, I think in January or whatever it was. And I just love this laboratory. It looks awesome. Man, I'm really excited. This is a really cool shot too. I believe this is another shot of the monster, but they haven't like actually shown of his design yet. So that's I can't wait to see what they do with Jacob Elordi and what kind of design they do with the monster, man. That's really, really exciting. So yeah, this is another kind of action shot they have with him on the ship, obviously in pursuit of Frankenstein. And yeah, they just kind of have his hand poking out there and he's obviously hidden under the hood. Comes out in November. Dude, I'm so excited for this movie. I remember when it was announced, I feel like it was announced so long ago. How do I put it? One of the concerns that I had about this movie obviously being produced by Netflix and distributed by Netflix is that it's only going to be on Netflix when it releases. But Guillermo del Toro has said that Frankenstein will be coming out in theaters, confirmed on Blue Sky. I think that's like a Twitter clone or whatever it is. And he confirmed it in 2024, apparently. So it is getting a theatrical release. And he just said simply, quote, Frankenstein will have a theatrical run. That's it. It's going to be in theaters, which I'm really excited for. That's, going to be the best possible way to watch a movie. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I want the big screen. I want massive surround sound speakers and everything like that. It's just so exciting to have this story told finally in a modern production. It's going to be up to 2025 standards of movie making, which, not to say that movies made in the 90s or 80s or whatever it was are not up to scratch anymore. Like, a lot of them still hold up really, really well, but it's just really exciting when you get like a new adaptation of something that hasn't kind of been adapted in such a long time. Like, you get a Batman movie every fucking 5 years or whatever it is, you know what I mean? You don't get Frankenstein as often as you get Batman or Superman or whatever. So yeah, I'm just yeah, I'm really excited for this. So I'm sure there'll be another trailer coming out soon, and I'm sure they'll do a reveal for the monster's design and what Jacob Elordi will look like. And yeah, I'm just very excited in the marketing campaign leading up to this movie, and I'm going to be watching all of the interviews and trailers and everything like that. And I'll definitely give the book another read before the movie comes out. And yeah, I'm so excited for this.